We are in chapter 2. Just a quick reminder, please read chapters 1, chapter 2, and chapter 7 for this week. Chapter 2 is good to see we're all well. Um, Chapter 2 is going to piggyback off of chapter 1, where we started talking about our career plan. We worked on a long-term goal and we talked about skills. We're going to spend this week talking about skills because next week you'll be working with career services to write your resume, and we're going to focus on skills, and it'll really make sense tomorrow when we start looking at some job descriptions. But then in week 3 you are going to be talking about your skills in your mock interview. So we really want to focus on skills and make sure you understand their relevance. So as a recap, everybody knows about participation. We're all doing really good with participation. Keep up the good work with that, turning in everything by 12:30 for your attendance.
Hey, like tell someone you could be doing that shit.
Exactly. You could be too. You could be the chillest dude, and then out of nowhere, like I found out you got 5 fucking dead bodies in the back of your house, bro.
All right, please remember to put yourselves on mute. The session is recorded. I try to mute you guys as fast as possible, but remember to put yourselves on mute. All right. All right. So, and I'm sure they were just talking about a TV show they watched last night. um, we talked about goals yesterday. Does anybody have any questions about what we discussed yesterday? All right. So, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to focus more in on our skills, right? Our skills, different categories of skills. Yesterday, we said that the classes that you're in now at your respective campuses, you guys are learning technical skills. We'd all would agree with that, right? I'm sure your instructors aren't spending too much time on HR related stuff, right? They're teaching you about your technical skills, but we want to spend some time talking about soft skills, and you'll see tomorrow when we start looking at some job descriptions how those soft skills are identified and why you want to pay attention to them. Then we're going to spend a little bit of time just talking about workplace ethics and things of that nature, but you can read more about that in chapter 2. So I don't think we have to debate this. Every company wants you to have some basic skills, right? I don't think anyone would be surprised to find out that the companies want you to know how to read, write, uh, do basic math, and watch this, like I said, basic technology skills. You won't just be doing electrical, doing HVAC, doing VA. You will have some type of hands-on with some type of device, right? Especially if you're doing residential, you're probably going to have some type of iPad. They may give you a laptop to take home. You may have to come into the office to do some administration work. So people expect you to have basic technology skills. The most fundamental skill they want you to understand is the difference between using a software that is on your computer versus software that you use remotely on a server. We call that cloud, right? So some companies will use cloud-based systems. Like if you see them talk about using Google or Google Docs or Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365 is a cloud-based, whereas a software on your computer or your desktop is considered, external server because you're using it, or internal server because you're using it in-house. That's the most basic thing you'll need to understand, because you may have a company that says, okay, your clients are, we're going to do the projects, go get it from the drive, the Google Drive or something like that. They just expect you to know how to do that. Obviously, they expect you to know how to write an email or things of that nature. How sophisticated your technology skills needs to be on the administration side really depends on the type of job that you go after, right? So just be mindful of that. They just expect you to know that. Obviously, they expect you to have hard skills. What are hard skills? As a reminder, they're technical skills, skills that are relevant to you. Relevant to your industry. Yesterday, I asked you guys to identify at least 3 top skills in your respective industries. Hopefully, you all have the similar, answers when I look at them, because these are the skills that you know for sure that companies expect you to have. But it's not just technical skills, right? How many of you have ever gone to the doctor? We love going to the doctor, right? Our favorite place to be. Let me up the ante. What about the dentist? Give me a thumbs up if you feel that your doctor should have soft skills. Would you like your doctor to have soft skills? Absolutely. Because we turn to babies where we have to go, especially the dentist, right? You know how vulnerable it is to sit there and have someone all in your mouth and you just, you know how vulnerable, okay, right? Do I need a visual? Would we like for them to have some soft skills? Yes, we would, right? Nobody just wants somebody in their mouth just yanking around, doing whatever, don't care about how you feel. Come on, show me some sympathy, right? Grown men and women will avoid going to the dentist just because of the I don't even know which one to call it, right? They're non-empathetic, right? I'll tell you, last night I had to do teledoc. Anybody ever did teledoc? My daughter sleeps in my bed, and any parent will know what I'm about to say. It doesn't matter how big your bed is, and probably even if your partner does it. Give me a thumbs up if you're the person that is up on the edge of the bed. If you have to share your bed with anybody, they treat us so bad. They treat us so bad. It is unfair. We should have some type of therapy group. My right shoulder locked up a couple days ago. This is the second time this happened because my daughter sleeps in my bed and she locks my shoulder. And when I take her to go to school, sometimes I reach back in the back seat and grab that backpack, which I know I shouldn't do, and I felt it coming. So for the past couple of days, my whole right shoulder is just, they call it, I don't know, I'm praying I didn't hurt anything, but it's tore up, guys, I'm telling you. So I called the doctor. I was in so much pain last night. I'm like, I just got to do teledoc, just to praying they'll give me something. When I tell you that teledoctor was so indifferent to my pain, she hurt my feelings. But I had to just suck it up and just pray that she gives me some medicine. She's like, well, you're not getting any muscle relaxers because people, I guess they peddle them on the street for $5 a pop. I don't know how it goes, but she let me know that right out the gate. I'm like, ma'am, is there anything you can do for me? You need to go to the physical therapist. I mean, she was just giving it to me as if I had stole her tax return. I'm like, why are you treating me so mean? Oh my God, it was horrible. But so soft skills are important, right? I had to suck it up so she could write me a prescription. I didn't care what she said. Um, we need those, but we not agree. What are these soft skills? We also call them, they're also known as employability skills. Some people call them foundational skills, workplace skills, transferable skills. These are skills that you take from one job to the other. You use it to communicate with others, right? You can acquire it through school, which we're doing now, and you can acquire it through life experience. We tend to group them in 3 different categories. Thinking skills, critical thinking skills, the one that the doctor last night did not have, people skills, or maybe it was just too late for her, and personal qualities. So when we talk about workplace, oh, hold on, let me get back. Yeah, I'm going to come back to those. I thought I would put them here. Did I not do it here? I didn't. All right, whatever. All right, so when we get into these idea of people skills, thinking skills, and personal quality skills, we'll dig into it a little bit in the later week. But I did want to point out 2 different things here. when we talk about critical thinking skills, we learned a little bit of that yesterday, right? Like your ability to problem solve, your ability to work on a team. Your personal skill qualities is your ability to self manage yourself. We actually call it emotional intelligence, and we'll also discuss that in later weeks. Anybody ever heard of emotional intelligence? A lot of people think of emotional intelligence as like you can identify how a person feels. It's not what it is at all. Emotional intelligence has everything to do with self-regulation. Self-regulation. You say, okay, what is this, a psychology class? Well, you are going to be at work more than you are going to be at home. You are going to be dealing with the people at work more than you deal with the people at home. That's why there's always a running joke that the work is your second family. But you need a different set of skills when you are at work, right? Because work is where you make your money, but you're engaging with a lot of different people. You're engaging with your peers, you're engaging with supervisors, you're engaging with customers. And so you have to be able to know yourself when you're in these environments. So we're going to spend some time talking about emotional intelligence and how to regulate your emotions, whether you're in a stressful situation, if you're in a high stakes situation, if you're in a compromised situation, is how you regulate yourself. So that's what that means by your own personal quality skills, right? So we'll dig into that. But let's also talk about this thing here called ethics. Now, this is important because these are the skills, these are the soft skills that the company demands of you. Is not what you technically bring to the table, is what they demand of you. I'm sure you can agree that working in the hospital may require a certain set of ethics, even for those of us that are in the VA. Give me a thumbs up if you're in the VA program. They're going to have a whole other set of ethics than someone that is an electrical. Someone in the VA program, tell me why your ethics would be a little different. What are you dealing with? What would make your work a little bit more sensitive than some of ours? Anybody want to guess? It's really two reasons. Who's in the VA program that want? Oh, y'all not knowing where Mrs. Taylor's going with that. What are they dealing with that we're not dealing with?
Loss.
That's right. They're dealing with lives, and what else are they dealing with? Medicine, right? None of us are going to have to push pills to inject anything, and that, right? We don't have to deal with that, right? And we don't have to deal with, our patients passing away on us, possibly, or having to put them down. They're dealing with a whole other set. So their ethics are going to be a little bit different from those of us that may have to go and turn somebody's electricity off. Would you not agree? So where you work depends on those ethics. So there's two things here. So what are ethics? Ethics are moral principles that direct your behavior. But companies are not going to leave that to chance, my friends. When you come there, anything that can get that company in trouble, both civilly and criminally, there's two different types of trouble, they're going to make sure you do not do. You understand? So what they do is they're going to give you this big old handbook. It's called an employee handbook, and they're going to list out for you the do's and don'ts. So in workplace ethics is your behavior that they expect you to have. Now, here are the two categories. One is called code of conduct. We've heard that before, right? Code of conduct. What is that? Now watch this. It deals with how they want you to behave when you're at work. What is that, Miss Taylor? I'm not a kid. No, it's not about you being a kid, but it is about how they expect you to be engage with others and with their customers. That's your code of conduct. Code of ethics has to do with how you physically do the job, right? So let's use Chick-fil-A as an example, right? Chick-fil-A is known for what? What is Chick-fil-A known for? Somebody tell me.
Saying my pleasure.
They're known for their customer service, right? They're known for that, right? You already know there's a big difference between going to Chick-fil-A and going to Popeyes. Is that not true? So their code of conduct is what? You always want to make sure the customer feels welcomed. You want to call them by their first name. Do y'all notice they always use your first name? That's code of conduct. Code of ethics is how they do the work. What else happens at Chick-fil-A? What tends to happen if your food is late? Maybe I just don't. Am I the only Chick-fil-A goer? They always give you coupons if they do something wrong. They want to make sure your food is well done. That I remember I went the other day and they was like, "Oh my God, we're so sorry, Miss Cynthia. Your chicken tenders didn't come out right, and we're redoing it. Here's a one of those little cards they give you for free food, and we're gonna redo it and make sure it's right." I clutched my pearls. I was like, wow, thank you so much. Right? So how they do their work is important, and the way they treat you is important. So it's code of conduct versus code of ethics. Depending upon the type of environment that you're in, though that company may really, really, really drill down in on both of those things. I know in the military, they did not play. We had to carry our ethics cards in our top left pocket, and you had to memorize them. And when you're in your first year in the Army, anyway, I can't speak for the other ones, but I'm sure they're similar. You had to recite them and you had to know, right? Because that's how they wanted you to perform. If you ever thought about how most military people are all the same, you ever thought, how do they get millions and millions of people that have the same attitude? Right? Because they drill it into us. That's how they drill it into you. Like they leave no room for error on how they want you to behave. That's called code of conduct. Now, another reason why it is so important in an environment to follow their workplace ethics and for them to get you to do that is because there are certain behaviors that are not just unethical, they are illegal. And you know what illegal means, right? That means against the law. That means criminal. That means court time. You and the company, right? A lot of times people think that they do something wrong while at work, that means you just get fired. Yeah. You'll get fired, but you can also end up in court. And at worst, jail. So doing something illegal at work does not absolve you from, having to, face the music. Here's two examples. Discrimination and harassment, and those are just obvious ones. That's why we use it. Watch this. They're both unethical at most companies and illegal. Lord, that means you can lose your job and end up in court. Which is one of the reasons why companies, especially if you're, engaging with the public, are going to make doubly sure that you do not engage in anything that is illegal and unethical. Because if it's just unethical, yes, you can lose your job, but it can also ruin their reputation. How many Karens, and I don't know what's the male version of a Karen, have we seen that have lost their job because of something we saw on social media? Has anybody seen those? And you may clutch your pearls and say, well, how come this person lost their job just because they cursed out the old lady because the old lady stepped on their toe? Well, maybe Karen, did y'all see there was a guy that I guess he was saying something, inappropriate for all intensive purposes to this person that I don't know if he thought the person was, not from America. And he had his company shirt on. Can y'all see the problem with that? Give me a thumbs up if you can see the problem with that. Like, dude, if you're gonna pick a fight, take your uniform off first. Right? Can we agree at least, take your uniform off if you're gonna pick a fight? Yeah, he lost his job. Because now what's gonna happen, right? People don't, this is business. This is business. If you are a business, put your business hats on, right? Playtime is over. If you are a business, do you want any negative heat coming to your business? Do you want your business associated with anything negative? When you sign a contract with a company, you are what they call an agent of the institution. You can Google it. Yes, you're not just an employee, you're an agent of the institution. That's why when you do your orientation, they give you that little employee handbook and they talk about the code of conduct because they do not want you to misrepresent their company, not because they just want you to be a great employee, because they don't want you messing up their money. Is that fair? So if you feel that you cannot behave a certain way, then maybe you don't really think about the type of job that you are taking, because some companies will put those expectations on you. Something else that is going to be important for you, not just because of the company, but because you, as a professional, you are going into a professional degree, my friends. There is a big difference between working at 7-Eleven and working in a trades, a professional degree. You are considered a professional. As such, your behavior will have to change if you do not want it to affect your business. And when I say business, I'm not just talking about running a business. I'm talking about your business, right? The business of whatever you're doing. There's this thing called digital citizenship because we are all online now. And that refers to how you use technology in the internet. I see some of y'all clutching y'all pearls right now because, yes, we're about to get into it. It is going to be very, very important that you do a couple of things. Number one, we're going to talk a lot about you using social media to promote yourself on a business sense. So yes, it is going to be important for you to maintain privacy, and we'll talk about privacy in week 4, but also respecting the work that you do and the intellectual property that you may have with your company, being aware of online safety, and how you behave while you're on the internet in general. What do you mean in general, Miss Taylor? You mean after 5, I have to watch what I say on the internet? How many of us have heard of someone losing their job because of what they said on the internet? I think it's unfair. Give me a thumbs up if you think it's unfair. That a person should be able to. Okay. All right. Y'all think it's unfair? All right. Now I have a question for you then. I have a question for you. A couple months ago, a dentist lost her company. I don't know if she actually got disbarred or how it worked. She was in California. She was at a conference and she cracked a joke about not giving the proper amount of pain medication to patients once she found out that they did not share her same political views. She was being recorded. I don't know if she knew she was being recorded or not. Real true story. You can Google it. They posted it on the internet. Now, this is 2025. She actually made that statement back in 2021. How do you feel about that? Number one, let's put aside the fact that, she did something that is illegal. right? Let's put that aside. And can we both agree that was both illegal and unethical? Do we agree with that? So we agree with that. Um, let's say she knew it was on the internet. Should she not be accountable for that being on the internet? Should she not pay the consequences for that being on the internet? Like, even if that's how you felt and you allowed it to be posted, did you know it was posted? You should suffer the consequences. Is that not the case? How would you feel going to your barber and he does your hair based on how you think? You go into the doctor and they take care of you, and people do it. I'll tell you that, based on how your political affiliation, what they think. So there's this thing called digital footprint. When you post something online, it is no longer personal. But what if it's in my account? It is, you are online. Technically, when you post something on Instagram, Facebook, any platform, it belongs to that platform. Did you read the small print? Who got that TikTok notification for you TikTok users? So how they put that out there, that technically they can use all your stuff that you post on there because technically it's their server. A lot of people don't realize that. So anything that you post, you go to Twitter and you got Twitter fingers, X, formerly known as Twitter, and you post it, it's my personal account. No, it's not. It still belongs to Twitter. What you put online can affect you. Is it fair? Is it not fair? It's life. Go back to how we used to do it. We talked politics in the backyard at a barbecue, right? Where nobody was recording us. That's how we used to do it back in the day. Why people feel the need to put all their personal business online, I don't understand it. I don't come from that era. Yes, you have strong feelings and maybe you want to shout your feelings out to the rooftop, but should you not also be accountable for what you shout out to the rooftop? Now, if you work for yourself and you don't mind your reputation, go for it. But if you're working for somebody else, if you're a business person, would you want your employees just shouting everything at the rooftop, how they feel about everything? Would you want that? No, because you want customers, right? So you have to be mindful of your digital footprint. So what are you saying, Miss Taylor? Because I'm a professional and I'm getting this degree, I'm doing it to make money. Now I got to think about my reputation. Yeah. How many professional people you see doing all that nonsense online? Not a lot. Oh, and accountant so and so was caught up today fighting on the internet. Oh, and professor so and so. You don't hear about that too much, right? You know why? Because they're protecting their asset. Their asset is their career. You always see that foolishness happening with people that take risks. Most people are not taking risks with their profession. So you are going to have to think about what you do online as a professional. In the words of one rapper that says, more money, more problems. So that's one of your problems now. You actually have to think about your reputation. Hmm? All right. So chapter 2 also digs a little bit into it. I just stated this, once you're online, those are servers. Your company may use online servers and they'll tell you, how you should and shouldn't use that. Let me tell you something. Don't post anything personal on your company's laptops, servers, nothing. Don't ever do anything personal on when you get that new job, and especially if you're going to be doing remote work, traveling around, they give you that laptop. Please don't go to any personal stuff on those people laptops. Don't download anything personal. Anything you do on their laptop becomes their business. All right. Same thing with software. Most of you guys won't have to worry about any digital privacy. At most, you may have to engage with a customer or a client. You maybe have access to contracts. very seldom. I mean, obviously, if you go into people's homes, you'll have access to, where they live and stuff like that, but your company will really dig into you and talk, make sure you understand those privacy laws if you have to deal with anything like that. All right. Most of you probably won't have to deal with intellectual property, but yet again, you never know. You could end up working at a company that has a new, whatever system, and you have access to it, whether it's infusing solar with this and doing something with that, and you have to protect that. You can't go around chit chatting about what your company's doing and telling people their business, but they'll make you sign a lot of a lot of agreements if that is the case. All right. Last thing too is you have to really think about etiquette, so when you are online, I kind of talked about that, your etiquette is important. We call that netiquette. You can't be online fussing and fighting with people. So if you got Twitter fingers and you're posting stuff, you don't want, because there's always a tech savvy person that can find you if they wanted to. Did y'all see that lady that actually went to the employment of the person she was arguing with online? Did y'all see that foolishness? Y'all like, Miss Taylor, you online? I'm not even online or not. But I tend to do a lot of reading, and sometimes when you do a lot of reading, it's like you have to clean your palate. I just scroll through stuff because I need to clear my mind. I sometimes need a little foolishness just because I'm always thinking doing serious stuff. But yeah, people a little cray nowadays, right? So you need to be very mindful of your netiquette and how you are online. You don't even want to come across inappropriate, right? So common courtesy, treat people as if you were, engaging with them face to face, especially if you are engaging with a customer. There's different rules that they have for netiquette. Remember you're dealing with a human, show respect. Anything you say or do can be used against you. And that is the difference between talking to someone face to face versus talking to someone online. Anything you put online can be traced and can be downloaded and can be saved. And someone can throw it up in your face, 2 years from now. Oh, this person, you decided that you may want to go in politics one day. Who knows, right? And you was, fussing and fighting with somebody on Twitter, and now they downloaded it, and now they post it and they sell it to the National Enquirer. All kinds of foolishness. But I'm just telling you, you never know what the future holds. Starting now, you're in a profession. You have to have a different set of standards for yourself. You understand? All right. So let me tell you what you're going to do today. Next week, you are going to be working with career services and to write or edit your resume. If you have a resume that they've already done for you, they still need to sign off on it. It is very important that career services signs off on your resume. It is not a my rule. It is a career services rule because they need to have an updated resume on file for you. So you have to work with them, give them the resume. Let's say, I don't know, Sarah did your resume 3 months ago. Sarah no longer works here. You're going to go to career services. Here's my resume. I'm just using this as an example. Sarah and I did it. They still okay. Well, now Sam's there. Sam's going to look at it and Sam's going to sign off on it and he's going to keep it on file, right? If you don't have a resume, then Sam's going to help you do your resume, right? If you have a resume, but Sam wants to edit it, Sam will edit it, work with you to edit it, and then he will sign off on it. So whether you have a resume or you don't have a resume, the point is I want to see the one that Sam signed off on. Do we understand? So next week, you will be doing that. I'm going to show you how to set your appointments in a minute. In week 3, you will be doing a mock interview with Sam, or you could be doing it with Karen. Who knows? Depends on who your career services personnel is and how many there are. What you will be doing today is setting those appointments to meet with Sam for your resume and Karen for your mock interview. And you guys have the competitive advantage because my class, my class goes first, and there are tons of classes that are going on right now. That means you want to get in there and get your time slot now. Get it before everybody else has class, right? Get yours now. All right. So how do you do that? In the assignment, when it says scheduling with career services, what you are going to see, it looks like this, and it's going to say, do not schedule your resume before week 2, and it gives you week 2's dates. And then it goes on to say, you're also going to schedule your mock interview and don't schedule it until week 3. Now, how you schedule depends upon your campus. Let me give you an example. I'm going to stop sharing this for a second. And I'm going to go into the classroom. Let me see if I pulled it up first. Okay. Now, ATA, those of you down in Fort Myers, yours is simple because you guys are all just meeting with your career services person collectively. I think they're going to give you a flyer or something, but you still need to, whatever they tell you, even on that flyer, there's a date. I still want those dates in this assignment, okay? So let me go to here. Here. All right. So if I go to the assignment, scheduling with career services, it tells you don't schedule before 2/9 for week 2. So you can schedule anytime next week for the resume, and then the following week for your mock interview. Now, look here. If you go down, because everybody's different, if you are in Bradenton, which I don't know if anybody is, but let's pretend I'm in Bradenton. That's my campus. I'm going to, or anybody, students in Braden, what am I talking about? Bradenton, Braden. Yeah, I'm going to click here. Now, the way, is it Brandon? Why do I see? Yeah, I've been living in Jersey too long. We have a Bradenton in New Jersey. It's Brandon, right? You're going to look for resume writing. Here it says an hour. Don't get, some people say 15 minutes. Yeah, every campus is different. You're going to click on it. Now, you are going to do this even if I don't care what the situation is. Set it up the time first. If you want to call your campus first, because maybe you're like, okay, can I just email her my resume? I don't care what you do. You still need a time here. Even if the person says, I'm just going to look at it and call you back, put something to let me know what's happening, right? Either I want to see a date and time that you're going to meet with them, or I want to see, I spoke to Sharon, she told me to email her my resume and I sent it over. I want to see something, right? Okay. But for most of us, you want to go ahead here. And even if you're going to do that, I would still just pick a time slot and then let Sarah call you back, because some of the career services want you to go through this scheduling an appointment first. And then even if they just say, send it to me, they want to make that determination. So I say, just go ahead and grab you a slot. So you can grab a slot and then you can put it on your assignment saying that you did it. But so grab you a slot. So let's say next week, Miss Taylor told me not to do it before next week. So Monday at 10, I'm gonna put my email, my name in and all that, and then I'm gonna hit continue, and then it's gonna say ask me if it's right, and then it's gonna give me a receipt. I want you to either copy that receipt, or you can just put Monday 2/9 at 10 a.m. I'm fine with that. All I need to know is that you scheduled it and what time you scheduled it for. Then you can go back and do it again for your mock interview, right? Go back in here, but instead of choosing resume, this time you're going to choose mock interview. I don't know why it doesn't give me a back button. So this time I'll just use Orlando. Sanford, if you're in Sanford, they want you to call them and talk to Nancy or Vicky. That's how they do theirs. If you're in Orlando, you're going to click here. Same thing, resume 30 minutes, but this time I want to do mock interview. Now, Orlando, you'll notice, your campus is pretty big, so make sure you choose the right person. If you're a medical assisting, it's Michelle. If it's welding or electrical, it's Mita. And if it's HVAC, it's Princess. So if I choose Princess for HVAC, same type of thing. This is mock interview. So Miss Taylor told me to do for week 3. So I need to go to week 3, which starts on the 16th. Then I choose a time for my mock interview, 11 o'clock, same type of thing. Tell Miss Taylor my mock. So in this assignment, I want to see 2 dates. I want to see resume writing, Monday, 2/9 at 10 a.m. Mock interview, Monday, 2/16 at 11 a.m. If I don't see 2 dates, I'm gonna send it back to you and say, unless you just want 50%, I need to see both dates. If it's like Sanford, obviously you're gonna have to call and get it first, so don't say I'm calling and waiting for my time. Don't put that in my assignment. Get it first and then come back and tell me what it is. All right. Uh, Go ahead, Anthony.
So I already have been with my career services, Miss Krista, and she already signed off on it. Should I just send a picture of the resume and it being signed off?
Yes. So if your resume has been signed in this assignment, you're going to say resume writing previously signed by whatever her name is, Krista. She's supposed to put a date on it, but whatever. She didn't put a date. She signed, just put previously signed by Krista, and just hold on to it because you're not going to turn it in yet. You turn it in next week.
Okay.
Right? But still go in this assignment because this assignment is still for a grade. So you still need to let me know what happened. Resume completed and signed by Krista. That's why I know that part is done. And then just put mock interview and then put your time and date for mock interview.
Thank you. Sounds good.
All right, go ahead, Xavier. Go ahead, Xavier. All right, so everybody else, you can follow along with what yours is. Tampa, that's you. Port Charlotte, Urbandale, same type of thing. Go ahead, Taylor.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
So with the mock interview, so the mock interview and the resume have you want me to show you that like a signed.
So the mock interview is going to be a little different. Okay. Okay. These are going to be, and this is a good question, and I don't want to confuse anybody. That's why I want us to do it step by step. Think of it like this. Think of 2 different roads. You have the resume road, you have the mock interview road. With the resume road, you have 2 different assignments. With the mock interview road, you technically have 1, 2, 3. You're going to have 4 different assignments just for the mock interview. The first step for both of these is to get them scheduled. And this is a shared assignment for them scheduling it. So for scheduling it is this assignment. I scheduled my resume. I scheduled my mock interview. Next week, you are physically going to turn in that signed resume as an assignment.
Oh, okay.
And then next in the week 3, you're going to go to your mock interview, and then they're going to give you a mock interview exit slip that says, they're going to critique it and they're going to give it to you. And then you're going to turn that in as proof that you went to your mock interview.
Okay.
And then you're going to end up doing a thank you letter for that mock interview. So there's a couple steps with the mock interview. So the first step for both of them is just to get them scheduled.
Okay, so like Anthony, I have mine. I have my resume done too. That's already signed and done. So the mock one, I just have to do my mock interview.
Yep. So for this assignment, you're going to go in and you're going to say resume completed and signed by whoever did it. And then mock interview date Tuesday at noon.
Um, but even even though even mock interviews they have to be set up too, right? I have to set that up as an appointment.
Yeah, you have to set up you need to set it up today. That's the
All right.
assignment for today, is to set them up.
Okay. All right. Sure.
And I'm showing you here how to set them up. What campus are you with?
I'm in Brandon.
Right? So yours is right at the top. All you got to do is click on this button where it says Brandon. You see it here on the screen? This link?
Yeah.
And then set it up. You click on it and you choose a time and set it up. And listen, that doesn't mean the time can't change. Set it up. Get this done. If you can't do that time, if you have to do it over the phone, you don't have to ask my permission. That's between you and your campus. I don't care how you do it. I just want you to set it up. Then y'all can work out the particulars. I know some of you guys don't live close to the campus. I know some campuses are open to doing it over the phone, doing it video. Like I'm fine with that. This is really for the campus. It's not for me. We just work in partnership with them to make sure you guys do it, and you get credit for it. I think Anthony was first and then Keith. Go ahead, Anthony. You still have a question?
None. I did, but not anymore. You answered
Okay,
it.
go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Keith.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, so actually I went ahead and talked with my career services before this class, and I already emailed her my resume and all those things. So I'm kind of just waiting on her and the mock interview and the something else I got an email for that dates were already assigned to it.
So
So
just give me the date.
I'll just give you the dates then. Okay.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Is to get it set up. The fact that you did it in advance is great, but you still need to go in and tell me what happened. So with your resume, you're going to say resume sent to whoever you sent it to, pending signature. Mock interview, give me the date they gave you.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any more questions? All right, my friends. Let me put your daily question up here. All right. So here's your daily participation question. Here's what I want to know. I want you to name one quality. We've been talking about setting ourselves apart. Why does Miss Taylor want us to start thinking of ourselves individually? Because it's your career. You can't look to the left or the right of you, right? Y'all in the program together, but y'all career is not going to be the same. So you have to start thinking about you because you got to start marketing yourself. We're going to start talking about marketing yourself next week. So I want you to get in the mindset of if I have to market myself to my industry, right? Because it's not just to one job, to your industry, what's one quality that sets you above the competition? You think. Maybe it could be a skill you already have. It could be a different type of skill. Maybe you've already done project management. So you think, hey, that's going to give me a competitive advantage. And then also, what's one quality you wish you could improve on, right? Nobody's going to know. Everybody has improvements, right? Name both. One I'm good at. I'm good. One I got to improve on. I want to see two. One I got it in the bag. One I need to work on. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for the engagement and asking great questions. I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Go ahead, Taylor.
One more thing. What the qualities that you want us to. So you said, oh, one quality. Do I have to like name? Do I have to like write a specific? You want me to write a specific one? Like two different. You said one that I have to work on, and then one I already have.
Mm-hmm.
But like, do you want us to write like a small sentence or something?
No, you could just write a complete sentence. It doesn't have to be a paragraph. Just write a complete sentence. Like, don't say smart, need to get more smart. No, you're going to tell me what the quality is. One quality that sets me above the competition is this. One quality I need to work on is that.
Hmm.
So maybe your quality that you think sets you above your competition. Let's say if you're in the electrical field, you want to go into construction and you already know how to, I don't know, paint. So you feel like because you already have an extra skill set in addition to being an electrical person, that it'll give you a competitive advantage if you go work for Lennar Homes.
Okay, yeah. That's wait. And so these are like, are these the same things that like? Okay, so this sounds similar to like like the thing you were talking about, the soft skills and hard skill
Yeah.
thing.
So when I say qualities, it doesn't have to be a technical skill. It can be a soft skill. You can say, one thing I think that's going to give me a competitive advantage, because remember, you're thinking about it in terms of your career. Think about it in terms of your long-term goal. My long-term goal is to become a master electrician and own my own business. I want to become a master electrician and own my own business. So one quality I think that I have that sets me above the competition is I already have previous experience working with my uncle, right? So I'm going to say I have prior experience. That's one quality I have. You know, what do I need to work on? But I do have a little bit of trouble reading blueprints, so that's something I need to work on. Or maybe it could be personal. I get really frightened to talk to new people, and I want to work in customer. I want to work in residential, so I know I have to work on that. Or whatever your thing is. I don't want to tell you what to say. I don't want you to. There's no right or
Oh,
wrong answer.
no, oh yeah, no, you're good. I was just making sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was just, I just to get an idea of what I can write, what I should write down. All right,
Right,
no,
right. Does
well,
that make sense?
yeah, yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Okay. I
Thank
know
you.
because I'm saying quality instead of skill. So I know why
Yeah.
you got a little. I know I understood why you had gotten confused on that. Um, all right, y'all. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
All right, sir. Bye bye.